All right, good day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's webinar and book launch. We are so glad to have you join us today. And thank you to the host, Nurse Kemi, for putting this together. This is a brilliant idea, the webinar and the book launch. And we want to especially thank every guest speaker that have made it to this event. Thank you for being here out of your busy schedule. And to every person that is currently on the webinar, I want to say thank you for joining us. It promises to be a great webinar such that you'll be grateful that you are here. And quickly, as we go on into the agenda for the day, I'll be moving on to invite our host, who is no other person but Nurse Kemi. Would like you to share with us the reason behind this book and why you wrote this book that is titled That Successful Nurse and How One Can Achieve Their Dream as an International or Foreign Nurse. Thank you once again. The stage is all yours. Thank you.
You're on mute.
Can you unmute yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I must say that I'm really honored for everyone that is on this program today. And I've come to understand that in life, there's everyone that wants to achieve something. There's everyone that wants to get to the next level. And so a lot of questions that have come along the line in my process of coming to America. Oh, first of all, before I continue all that, my name is Fadikemi. My full name is Olua Fadikemi, and I've tried to shorten it every time. So I've now resolved to Kemi because where I'm coming from, the name has a meaning. It means God used crown to pet me. But here in America, people can't pronounce that name. They always murder the name. They always just murder the name. So I just tell them the last four letters of the name. So my name is Oluwafade Kemi. So, but you can always call me Kemi. So you see that everywhere is Kemi. So I am an international nurse. I am a mom. I'm a nurse. I'm a midwife. I'm a USRN. And now I'm a digital entrepreneur because I decided to evolve to see what I can do, even still keeping my nursing profession, even still keeping the care part of me. And so the book that I've written is about the phases for you to achieve your dream, not just an American nurse, but as a foreign nurse, any part of the world, because I discovered that a lot of us move from our home countries to America, to UK, to US, to Canada, to Australia, and all is to solve one problem, which is to achieve a dream, achieve that burning dream in us. And so the book is about how to solve that problem, from the process of you becoming an international nurse to achieving that your dream that you really want to be. And it must not be just digital product. I've seen a lot of nurses have become digital entrepreneurs. I've seen a lot of nurses become healthcare consultants. I've seen a lot of nurses have home care business. Some have even become financial professionals. Some have become different other things aside their nursing skills. So I've simplified the possibilities for every nurse so that you not just will not just die at the bedside as people come. One question that was really stuck on me this period was, is this what I'm going to continue to do for the rest of my life? Is this what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life? A lot of people relocated from their countries thinking that when they come to, let's say America, for example, everything is all green, but they didn't know that the grass is not green. It's not green at the other side. It's not green at the other side. So I wrote this book all for nurses to be able to achieve that dream from the process of pre-NCLEX, writing your exam, passing the exam, relocating itself, That's a phase. Then when you come on the floor, when you become a nurse on the floor, that is another phase. How to navigate the health system is another phase. Then now that you have even navigated the health system, now how to now achieve the dream. Like what else after serving, after working on the bedside for 4 years, 5 years? So what next? What next after achieving this, passing my NCLEX exam? After being that nurse, what next? So the book is all about that. And I've just put all this together so that we can achieve our American dream. Thank you.
Wow, brilliant. Thank you so much, Nurse Kemi, for being thoughtful and putting this together to help everyone that is interested in the subject. Thank you so much. So for those that are interested in getting this book, while the webinar is going on, I would just like to pause here and let you know the cost for it. You can get this book that's currently at the pre-order price for $4.99. And after today, it will be going back to its actual price, which is $10. But if you are within Africa, we'll be sharing a link. There's a seller link where you can as well get this book for yourself. So you can actually look out for the link via the comment section and get your own copy of the book today. Thank you so much once again for letting us know more about the contents of this book. So moving on, I would like to invite our next guest, who will be talking about the steps to navigate from bedside to nurse of influence. And this person is no other person but Nurse Avagail Lindsay. Nurse Avagail Lindsay, please, are you here? You can take over the stage. Thank you so much.
Hello, yes, I'm here. Are you guys hearing me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Let me turn on
Yes,
my
we can
camera.
hear you.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Avagail Lindsay. I am a former international nurse, now residing in the USA. So I also work with Kemi. I can't pronounce her name as much as possible. So that's the name that I use when I'm speaking to her. I'm super proud of her. I must say congratulations on this book that you have produced.
Thank you.
I have had the opportunity of working with Kemi on the same unit where we started as international nurses, and it was always well, you say always felt good to know when we both work together. We're always passionate about stepping out, becoming digital nurses, and we always shared ideas together. And I'm really proud of you on the accomplishment of your book.
Thank you.
Yes. So in my area, I'm going to be talking about how to transition from the bedside to becoming a nurse of influence. So a lot of persons always say I'm a nurse of influence, but I don't see how. But I will continue to speak on it. It just happened. So during my process, I started out from Jamaica. I came here, landed, started the process, and it wasn't easy. As Kemi said, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, but I always encourage persons to come and to see for yourself. A quote that I always say to individuals that the grass is green on the other side until you see it for yourself. My experience will be different from yours, and everybody else's experience will be different. But it's what you make it. The dream is definitely attainable and you can achieve it, but if you have to come with a plan and know your why. It's not going to drop from the sky and become an international nurse. It's going to be more money, all of that, but it's something that you have to find within yourself and tap into the resources that are available. Moving from your home country can be quite a lot and challenging. It requires you to just start the process. Once you're a registered nurse, that's the first process of being licensed within your home country and also being licensed with the Board of Nursing. Having the relevant experience, many companies choose those that are med-surg nurses, but any specialty right now is acceptable. Now, when you land and you have to start the NCLEX, and the NCLEX is quite attainable, it has been noted that our international nurses, based on some of these facilities that give the NCLEX, that international nurses has a 90.9% pass rate, because guess what? We're already working as international nurses, so we have the experience. You just need to know the strategies in taking the NCLEX and you'll be fine. Landing in the US, you'll be placed on a specialty based on need, and moving from the bedside to launching whatever role that you need to go into. It requires you to know your purpose and your why, tapping into the skills that you have. For me, it was a joy when Kemi said, come online, let's talk about international nurses, how to become successful, because guess what? I love to talk. That is my area. So you have to know the skills that you have and the value that you can bring to the table. Going on social media to become a nurse of influence, something that I told myself that I wanted to do is add value. I add value by telling international nurses the steps of how they can become nurses in the United States. Other persons started reaching out with regards to Canada, all across the world. So that is my role right now in terms of being a nurse of influence, because I have added value to that space. So everybody looks at me when they're asking, and Kemi also when they want to know about international nursing. Have to know your why, and you have to know the audience that you're speaking to. A lot of time persons are hesitant to go on social media because they can't find content. But guess where I find my content? My content comes from individuals who are nurses and non-nurses who actually reach out to me in my DMs and constantly ask me questions. So when they ask me a question, I normally look at it and say, there may be other persons who need an answer to this, and I share these questions on my social media platforms. And the key also, niching down is good if you focus on nurses. But just the other day, somebody reached out to me asking me, how can a doctor come to the United States? I didn't turn it down. I said, let me do some research in this, because guess what? That's an area that persons may be interested in. So moving from the bedside, there are different areas that you can go into. It doesn't have to be on social media. You can start looking at, where can I go to increase my expertise, whether you want to go back to school. And I encourage nurses immediately when you come, research, look at the different universities and colleges if you want to go back to school. Do not just jump into a why are you laughing, Kevin?
No problem, sorry.
Okay. And don't just choose an area because you hear another person is doing it and is successful in it. Make sure that it's something that you want to do, because that person might be successful because that is their passion. So make sure you have a passion for whatever you're going to do. Understand the job market too, and understand how you get funding to move from the bedside if you want to move up in terms of going back to school. There are many programs that you can find online too if you're interested to go back to school. And this can be done with you working as a nurse full time and also doing the programs online. I always preach about the various opportunities that are available, but you have to look into yourself, where you want to go and how you're going to reach there. And the key to doing this is to find other persons who are ahead of you or persons who are doing the same thing as you. I survived with my international nursing by having persons like Kemi. We also had a WhatsApp group. When we went to work, we shared our ideas and our thoughts. If persons came to work and they wanted help in an area, I may know somebody who have done the process before, and we put each other onto these different persons, and that's how you survive. So having a community and having a form of resource is very important in moving forward.
Wow, thank you so much. Thanks so much, Avagail. It's something that people need to understand, that they should understand their why and
Mhm.
understand all the processes that is needed. Thank you so much.
No problem. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments and I'll answer also. And I must say that we can find information, if you guys are interested, for Empowered RN on YouTube and also on other social media platforms where we share information for nurses globally.
All right. Thank you so much, Nurse Abigail. That was awesome and quite revealing. Thank you so, so much. So we can as well follow her on social media at Empowered. Yeah. And thank you so much. She said something that really stood out for me. She said, you must know your why. Don't just go into it because every other person is doing it. You need to know why
Right.
you're doing what you're doing. So you can also look through the comment section to read through her bio. Once again, we are so grateful to have you share with us. Thank you so, so much.
Okay.
All right, so at this point, I want to know if you have questions. Please feel free to unmute yourself and probably raise your hand and ask your question in the next 1 minute.
So there was a question that I got, and I got it as a text message. Some people could not join this event, some did night, and so this is their sleeping time because they have to go back to work at about 6 o'clock. So they had to sleep. So some of them already told me that, see, one of the questions I will want to ask is what is the general timing? What is the general timing, the average timing from your home country to become an international nurse, both in the US and the UK, in Canada, wherever the dream is? Because, and that's one question. The number two question is, what is the state of things about relocating from your country? Is it only US? If not US, what is the state of things to relocate to other countries?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the general time frame for nurses when they're migrating, especially to I'm going to do US first, it can take 1 to 2 years or even 6 months. Before COVID, I had friends who left within a period of 6 months, but within COVID, before COVID also, we had a period what we now call retrogression that we're now in, where you have a period where things slow down with the embassy in getting persons to the United States, and that causes a backlog. And you have the visa bulletin that's issued quite frequently to say which year they're in. I know that it was published last year that there will be a freeze on it, and it will open up back on in 2025. So we're now in 2025, and the visa bulletin is now at 2023. So if you did your process before 2023 or in 2023, this is the year possible that you may have the time to leave your country. For nurses in India and other countries across the world, those on the western side tend to move a bit faster if you're in the Caribbean near to the US. But I've heard nurses from India said that they had to wait a period of 10 years before they transition. So with the visa retrogression now, it has seen a period where nurses are now even waiting more than 3 years. So it's causing a problem with regards to that. But agencies and hospitals are still recruiting, but now it is not required for you to know to take the NCLEX on your own because of the backlog that they're having. For the UK, they have a quicker immigration system. You can leave within as much as 6 months. So many nurses transition to the UK, then transition to the United States and have a better time frame. Canada, on the other hand, does use a lot of recruitment agencies. It's a program where you have to do the immigration process on your own, and you also have to get registered with their board of nursing. So their process is may take a longer while than countries that move faster than the US and the UK. Other countries that are recruited includes Australia too. They have a permanent pathway system that they have now implemented, trying to get persons there. And it goes back to where the nurses are interested in and where you really want to go. Sometimes I do advise person, if one country is taking too long, go and try another country. You don't have to live there. You don't have to stay there. If you go, you experience it, you can then move on to another country that you are interested in. And what was the other question? You're muted. I'm not hearing you.
Can you unmute
General
yourself? We
wait
can't
time.
hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, so the other question was the general wait time to relocate. The general wait time, because now it's now longer than necessary.
Right. So the general time is 1 to 2 years, but persons are now seeing a longer wait time based on the visa retrogression that they're seeing. So COVID was the one who opened the gate where a mass amount of nurses entered the US because there was a great need. So with the impact of that, thousands of nurses entered. Now they're slowing down the system, and it has created a backlog with regards to that. But I can tell you that the US is indeed in need of nurses, so the system will open up back. I experienced visa retrogression, which took me a period of 2 years before I relocated. So it happens, and especially when you have a recession, also things slow down. So that can happen. But my general thing for persons is when you're relocating, always have a plan B. When I was relocating, I had a plan B. If this did not work out, what would I do? I had a period of denials where there was a particular form. Every time that I signed it and sent it over, they said it got denied and they couldn't explain to me why. I said to myself, on the third time, if this agency reaches out to me and says no, that's it. Luckily, God heard my cry, and on the third time, it was an acceptance. But I had a plan B. If this didn't work out, I would go to another country or just find something else to do at home. But for nurses, when you're sitting and waiting, where millennials, we like to move, I encourage persons to enjoy your home country, do everything that you couldn't do before, enjoy your family time, do everything. And when you relocate, you can say, I lived what I wanted to live and I did what I wanted to do. So that's what I would tell people to do right now. And if you're in the waiting process right now, just continue to wait until things clear up. A nurse reached out to me the other day stating that she was waiting, but she transitioned eventually to the UK just to get an experience of the UK. And she says when her EB3 is processed, she'll then transition to the United States. And I thought that was a good move because you'll have experience working in the UK and working in the US. I think a question was said a while ago.
All right.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank
All
you
right,
very much.
Mhm.
All right, thank you so much, Nurse Avagail. Thank you. That was so insightful. Okay, so there's a question on the chat box, but then I'll just read that out. But then I just want to let whoever that sent the question that there are more options that will be shared here, aside being a bedside nursing and some other things you can do to earn income. And so we'll have some of our next speakers share some of those things with us. So the question, bedside nursing, anything I can do from home. So we have really thought about you and questions like this, and we'll have some of the guest speakers share some things you can just walk in as a bedside nurse. Thank you once again. Please, if you enjoyed the first section, can you just react with an emoji you felt and how good it was? Thank you. Kindly react with an emoji. Okay, so I'm seeing somebody's hand raised. Okay. I think the hand is down now. So please let me know how you felt about the first section. Okay, somebody's responding here. I really enjoyed the webinar. It's been fantastic, but I have to head up now. Okay, that's fine. All right, so moving on. We have our second guest speaker, who is not that person, but Nurse Akinola Olayemi will be taking up the stage, and she'll be talking about the role of passive income in financial freedom. Passive income in financial freedom. So this is a very interesting topic. So we want to have you off stage, Ma. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Madam Charity. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Olayemi Akinola, and I'm a nurse, and I want to say that I really enjoyed Avagail's presentation. Probably we'll be doing many things together in the future. I'm a US RN, and it's been a fantastic time. I'm so excited for Nurse Kemi because this is what we want in the nursing world. I remember that when I was working in Nigeria before transiting into the United States, I was enjoying, being a nurse. But before the end of the month, I still got stranded. I was like, what? And, when somebody heard that you're working in one of the prestigious hospitals in the country, in their mind, you are very okay, you don't have any money problems and all that. But you and I know that that's far from the truth, even though you're a nurse. If you are not really, and I love what Abigail said the other time, having a plan B And that's the essence, of being a business owner. Don't mind me, I'm a business owner, apart from being a professional nurse. And that was why when I came into the States, all I want to do is to just find something to do by the side without, impeding into my nursing profession. I don't know if I can be spotlighted so that I can share my screen. And then, just before I left the country, I was into a lot of businesses. That's just me. And since I started business by the side as a nurse, I've never been stranded in terms of financial, aid or financial assistance or financial backup. But before then, I know my stories, how I have to borrow some stuff before the end of the month. Many of us, we did it that time, especially relying on cooperative society just to make sure that things are, are into places. I'm going to quickly share my screen just in the next 10 minutes. Let's just see.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Okay, right here. And if you can see my screen, please let me know. Okay. All right. Okay. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Yeah, let's talk about the significance of passive income in attaining financial independence as nurses. When I came into this country, I discovered that if I don't even do extra shifts, I might be stranded. And that's that's the reality I found myself over 3 years ago. I had a baby, so I had to be at home for 3 months. And my employer said I wasn't even eligible for short-term disability, that was only eligible for FMLA for people in diaspora. FMLA means that you are just going on, leave as a result of medical reasons. So that's gonna keep your work for you, keep your job for you, but it's not gonna give you any dollars. When Avagail was talking the other time, you will discover that she went into something that she had passion on, and of course, I'm very sure that those things is gonna be a pathway for financial freedom for her. Not having need to rely on workplaces alone in order to make influence or make positive, influence around her. What that means is that if you don't, if you just want to rely on, oh, I'm a bedside nurse, because you are repeatedly doing some stuff, it might becomes, boring. Some people might experience what we call burnout. But when you have something that you enjoy by the side, then nothing becomes, roller coaster. Nothing becomes something that you love to enjoy, and, you just love it. Why? Because it's not just about the money now. There must have been your strong why you are pursuing that profession called nursing. Nursing is a noble profession, but when it doesn't really give you that time again, it doesn't give you the money you're looking for, it doesn't give you the satisfaction, then you start becoming, worried, you start becoming, you start not enjoying what you feel you should be enjoying. And that's the role of passive income, where it comes in. That passion, sometimes passion might not be an answer to it. Like Abigail said, I love educating people. So when I have an opportunity to go into the financial industry, I pitch my tent, towards being a financial educator, educating people as regarding their finances and be able to help them set them up, in their areas of life. And this, for me, it has been a blessing to me and my family, because when you earn from other sources, other than your regular job that, take more of your time, then you're talking about passive income, because job requires active participation, whereas passive income are just earnings that you are receiving, not without actively involving yourself in such deals. Just like we are launching that successful nurse today, that's going to be a passive income into the future. Why? Because she doesn't need to sell for everybody. Once she puts it online, Anybody that is interested is going to order for it, and she's going to receive the alert in her bank. And that is the beauty of passive income. So when you do something on the other side, just generating income, it will make you to be able to enjoy that, that your noble profession. Passive income, little or no effort to, to maintain it or earn from it. What that means is this. There are of course, she has already devoted her time to writing a lot of stuff for people to enjoy, for people to that offer value into the marketplace. What that means is that into the future, she doesn't need to write that particular book again, except she wants to write another book, right? But for this particular one, she has already, devoted her time, planted. That's a moment of planting. Then when harvesting comes, that's passive income starts coming from it. Minimal daily effort input to earn. I love it a lot. When I wake up, sometimes I see a lot. I'm like, who brought this? Then I will start looking into it. Then I will discover that maybe one of my team members actually, make a business. And because I am a marketing director, I have override on that. So those are the things that help us, to enjoy what we do on a daily basis. Investment options. There are a lot of investment options out there. Safe investment into the future. Royalties, rental properties, online businesses, digital entrepreneurs. Talk about affiliate marketing. A lot that people can do without, impeding, so that you don't get yourself choked up. Because when you cannot, pay your bills, and you will be forced to go back to taking extra jobs, extra hours. And before I've seen a lot of people telling me that they can't even, one day out of 7 days is difficult for them to take it as off day. And I wonder how did we get here? There was this American dream, that was preached to many of us that made us to shift. So life shouldn't have become so difficult. But if you don't have a plan B, like Avagail said the other time, sometimes you might need to struggle. And that is why, that's the essence of this, presentation. What are the significance of passive income? Income generation with minimal effort, consistent revenue stream, not tied to your active work hours. Definitely, don't get me wrong, there are times you would have, done a lot of stuff just to make sure that those things now starts generating income for you into the future. There's a place of hard working, there's a place of just taking your own time with focus and discipline. And then with time, you will discover that all those dividends will start coming into places. Then it also contributes to financial stability and freedom, and that's the truth. I tell people I don't take extra work hours or extra shift. I use that time to build my own business. I use that time to focus on my own team. I use that one to, to reach out to my own clients. So that thereby creating multiple sources of income, because that's one of the ways you cannot see someone doing just one job or focusing on. Hello.
Please, can you unmute?
Adedayo,
please, can you unmute?
please help us. The host can mute them too as well. Thank you. Then potential for generating wealth. I used to ask people, when you cannot see any millionaire in America or any other countries that has just, one source of income, it's not possible. Or seeing millionaires over time that has just one job. No, you have to know how to, diversify your portfolio, thereby, generating multiple streams of income to give you that financial freedom, that financial stability. We have to learn how money works. If we fail to learn that, then it's going to be a problem for us as, professionals. You have to protect your income. The first thing you want to do is to make money, right? But if you don't allow that money to work for you, if you don't invest in that money, if you don't protect that money, then we might be stranded eventually. So we want to factor tax and inflation in our investment options. Don't mind me, I'm talking as a financial professional right now. We want to, you want to also understand where you put your money, because those are risk that you want to understand. We have the aggressors, we have the moderators, we have the passive. So we have the conservative. So please, I used to tell people, just be a moderate, risk takers. Don't be aggressive. People that want to be aggressive, I leave it to the people that are just coming up. The Gen Zs, the Alpha generation. Yes, they still have a lot of time, but not the millennial generation, not the pre-retiree generation that are already Gen X that are looking into retirement in a matter of, 10 years, 20 years from now. So we talk about power of compound interest. As a nurse, we have to start knowing, get interest in your money because you are making the money and you are the powerhouse because you are making the money. If you don't know how the money works, you just discover you're working for the money, but the money is no longer working for you. So please, I'm just just trying to put it out there for us that passive income is real, and that's the way to generate, financial stability, financial freedom. And I believe that I've been able to impact right now. When I was in Nigeria, I had a lot of, as a nurse, I was into businesses, a lot of businesses. So the first one that I started with was data business, just all this mobile data. And I love networking because I believe that your net worth is your network is your net worth. If you have people that are surround you and you cannot, maximize their potential, you're gonna suffer. So that time when I was into that data business, I wasn't just selling data to one person. I had to encourage people to build them. So by the time I was leaving Nigeria, I already have resellers. As a nurse, I don't, even my income now become just my savings, and I reap from my businesses. And that is how, that mentality, I just need more education around it. And that is how I find myself in the US doing wonderfully well in the financial industry and as well as in nursing profession. Thank you for having me once again. And if you have any question for me, I'll be glad to take it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. It's a clapping ovation. If you can unmute yourself, let's celebrate her. Thank you so much for that insight section. I believe this must have answered the question that was asked earlier on. Thank you so much. So I have my question for you. So how long have you been an international nurse, and how easy was it for you to begin your passive income journey? Was it as easy as you're just saying it right now? Please, can you share?
All right, thank you so much. Like I told you earlier on, it's not easy. There's a time of, planting and then harvesting. I've been an international nurse for over 3 years. And I told you my story already. When I came in, I had my baby, no income for those 3 months. And I was like, what? But my auto loan industry or rental, my landlord will not say, oh, stop not paying me because you are on maternity leave. And that's why you find out that here in 6 weeks, many people go back to work. Why? Because they don't have any other source of income than that. And since that has been, short-term disability for maternity leave is even 6 weeks. 6 weeks pay, maybe some percentage of your 6 weeks pay. So, and that was what aroused my curiosity and saying, no, I have to have a plan B to support myself, and then I've been a nurse generally for over 12 years, an international nurse for 3 years. My passive income was actually fueled by that 3 months of not working and no dollar was coming in for me. And I said, no more, I won't be in that space again because I already have a taste of it when I was in Nigeria, when you'll be broke before the end of the month. And then no, it couldn't, I wouldn't want history to repeat itself. And that was when I started searching for information on what can I do differently. And I will not need to, take extra shifts just to achieve it, but getting passive income by the side. And that was when, we have a lot of opportunities in this land. You just have to know which one works better for you. I love to talk like Avagail, right? So I love to teach people in terms of their finances, protecting and all those stuff. So that has worked well for me. And I've set my foot on this journey.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us. We really appreciate this section, and you can see from the chat box that people are really being impacted. Thank you so much for sharing. And if you don't mind, you can as well share your social media names so that people can follow you as well. Thank you once again for sharing with us. For those that are just joining us, thank you for being here. On behalf of Nurse Kemi, we want to recognize her friends and everyone, even the guests that made it to this webinar. If you're still wondering where you are, this is a free webinar and book launch organized by Nurse Kemi. And here we're talking about that successful nurse ebook and how anyone can achieve their dream as an international nurse. So moving on, we still have one more guest that will be speaking to us, and I assure you that you don't want to miss this section. She'll be talking to us on recognizing, entrepreneurship opportunities in healthcare for nurses. All right, so join me, Nurse Claudia Garcia,
Okay.
for her section. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being
Before Miss Claudia
here.
comes in,
Okay.
I really
You can
want
go on and
to
speak.
Miss Claudia is not a nurse. She's an healthcare consultant. So she's always very proud to talk with nurses, not talk with nurses and talk with health professionals. So she has been an healthcare consultant for about 20 years, or yeah, 2 decades. But however, I really want to appreciate all my friends. I was telling Miss Claudia last night that, well, this is the first webinar I'm doing in America, and I wasn't alone. And she said something to me. I said, you need to be expectant, so that just be expectant. And right now I'm really wowed. I'm really wowed about everyone that has joined. I'm really grateful for Nurse Akinola. Thank you so much for your presentation, for simplifying that even as a nurse, you can have a passive income. Thank you, Nurse Avagail. It had really been a vision come true. Like play like joke. I remember she was one of our nurses that I'll see. At the time I was coming into the floor, I think she just had 6 months to exceed, and she was just telling me that, don't worry, you'll learn. And like that, I'm just looking, when shall this be? When shall this be? I really want to appreciate Adedayo and Olua for your presence. I want to appreciate Fred. I want to appreciate Ify came in and left. I want to appreciate Chinwe, Aliyah. Is really an honor. Most people, even the names, I just see the names. Some of them I've not even seen that. I can't place the name to the face, but some I can really place the name to the face. I'm really honored having everyone here. Thank you, Amara. I know that it's a busy time. Nurses in America are very busy, and you still showed up. Thank you, Anesu. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Eniola. Thank you, KB. KB is an officer. Yeah, thank you, Kizito. Thank you, Mr. Nee. Mr. Nee is my husband, and
Wow.
he's honorary. He's not a nurse, but he's also here. It's really a great joy having your husband support you in this whole journey. Thank you, Tokwe, iPhone 13 Max. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. It's really been something that I will always remember. So I will pass it on to Charity to continue. Thank you, Charity, also for this moderation. It's been a fantastic time with this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, so over to our next guest, Claudia. The stage is all yours. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Nurse Kemi, I think what you're doing is so wonderful. I think you are the perfect example of what we all should do when we learn something new. We should share it with those that are coming behind us so that we can make their path a lot easier, right? Helping people get from A to Z a lot quicker. That's what we always say in marketing. And I think you're doing a wonderful job, as Ava has been doing as well, helping international nurses on YouTube. And so So you guys are doing some great stuff. And I know that the dream is to come to a country like the US, and then you get here and then you're like, wow, it's expensive to live here, right? So you're not alone. Us Americans find it very expensive as well. So a lot of us do start businesses, second businesses. And as our other speaker, Olayemi, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, she is 100% correct. You need to have more than one stream of income, as it's no longer easy to live on only one income. And so I want to tell you guys a little bit about my backstory. Healthcare chose me. I did not choose healthcare. I was raised by a nurse. My mother-in-law is also an ICU nurse, still working in the ICU in her late 60s. Actually, she just turned 70.
Wow.
I fell into healthcare after my husband was in a really bad accident. A girlfriend of mine invited me to go and work for her medical office, and it was a really large practice. I believe they had about 12 offices. And so when I got there, I was already a serial entrepreneur. I had flipped houses, owned a coffee shop, and had an e-commerce store. So my life story is I fought really hard to stay home with my 3 kids when they were little. And so there was no way I was going to take a 9 to 5 as long as my kids needed me at baseball practice or for a classroom party. And so I wanted to do it all and be there for the kids. So I fought to be an entrepreneur. And so I tried everything. That is why my resume is so extensive. But when I fell into healthcare, I never knew that I was going to fall in love with healthcare. So just the simple fact that I could touch a patient's life, not being a nurse, but making an impact in the actual business itself, just really inspired me to stay in healthcare. And what happened there was when I got the job, I just got a job answering phones. And of course, my serial entrepreneur brain wasn't going to just sit there and answer phones. But instead, I told the CEO that I wanted to learn how they grew their practice and I wanted to help them build the practice. And so before we knew it, I went from answering phones to being their business development rep, as well as doing their provider enrollment so they would have more access to patients. And then after being there for 2 years, I said, I'm going on my own because I'm an entrepreneur. Why would I stay at a job, right? So with his blessing, I actually asked him to be my very first client. And I left that 9 to 5 with my first client, and he was it was very nice because the second client that I got was actually his biggest competitor. So I went from again in just 2 years answering phones in healthcare and then building my own marketing and consulting business. And so I want to inspire you guys because really what happened, my story is really about learning the skills and then taking them to the marketplace so that you can not just serve one person, but you can serve 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I have worked with hundreds of providers in the US, and I would have never been able to do that had I not left the one provider, right? So, and so I hope that that story inspires you. I'm nobody special other than I knew what I knew, and I knew that other people needed that, right? So when it comes to identifying what you should do, this is the biggest question that people have. What do I do? Because, someone's going to tell you to start this business and the other person's going to say, no, start this one and start that one. And you're going to have so many choices. And the truth is too many choices will make you freeze and you won't do anything. And so I want to encourage you to look at your skills. What do I know? What do I do best? Where do I have proven success? Is there somewhere in my nursing career that I have been, recognized or applauded for doing a really great job? Perhaps it's compliance, perhaps it's in administration, perhaps it's in leadership, perhaps it's in education. Whatever those skills are, those are the skills that you want to take to the marketplace. But before you take them to the marketplace, and I'm talking really fast just because I know the time is ticking, but before you take those to the marketplace, you want to make sure you do your research and find out who actually needs it. So make sure there's a big market and a need for it. And then once you establish that business, the number one thing you're going to need is marketing. And so that is what I think I'm supposed to talk about. So, but what I've done is I actually focus on LinkedIn. So I became a LinkedIn expert. It's my number one tool. This is where I do all my prospecting. This is where I have hundreds of leads. This is where I show my expertise and grow my network. So I tried to do Instagram. I think I started a TikTok and quickly closed it because it wasn't for me. I done YouTube. So I tried it all, but the truth is LinkedIn is where I have landed corporate contracts. And so LinkedIn is my favorite place for healthcare entrepreneurs. So whether you're a legal nurse or you own a home health agency, or you're, again, doing courses because you're an educator, or you're writing a book, LinkedIn is where you need to be. The truth is that's where all the decision makers are for organizations. And so if you want to sell to an organization, if you're a nurse educator and you want to go out to different hospitals and train their staff, where you're going to find the decision maker that will actually give you a contract, that person is on LinkedIn. And so although you can find your tribe on Instagram and on TikTok and all of that, when it comes to selling to corporations, which is mostly what I do, is you're going to find those people on LinkedIn. So I encourage you all to start a LinkedIn profile from wherever you are. I just want to give you guys a quick statistic. LinkedIn said that healthcare consulting is going to go from 12 billion in 2021 to 23 billion in 2028. This is a field that is growing and booming. Globally, it will reach $41.2 billion. That means you can be a global consultant. You don't have to necessarily be in the US or the UK. If you know something that we need to know, you can share it with us. And so start where you're at. So if you're not here yet, start where you're at. Start with what you know. Take it to the marketplace. Take it to the global marketplace. As you know, here we're all from different places. And so I'm learning from you, you're learning from me, and this is how we all start a business. So I hope that was helpful. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and feel free to ask me any questions.
Wow. That was so helpful. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Yeah,
Wow. So it's so interesting to know that you got into nursing because your mom was also in nursing, and you're doing amazingly well with all the things you shared with us. And this is really nice to being shared with us. I have a few questions for you from here.
Yeah, just really quick. I'm not a nurse. Yeah, I'm a healthcare consultant, so a healthcare entrepreneur. But yes, I was raised by a nurse, and my mother-in-law is still a nurse. Yes.
Okay, that's so nice. Thank you so much for sharing. So I wanted to know, for somebody that is not so used to LinkedIn, what could you advise the person to do? Because there are persons that have already created an account on LinkedIn, but they don't know so much about marketing and the likes of it. What advice can you give them, or are there trainings you think they can actually go out for? Thank you.
Yeah, so LinkedIn works very similar to your Instagram and your other social media platforms, in the sense that it has an algorithm. And every time you log into this platform, you're training the algorithm. So if you want to grow your network in healthcare, don't follow people in IT. Don't connect with people in I don't know, in agriculture. If you're looking to grow your network in healthcare, then you want to connect with healthcare people, whether it's whether they're in hospitals or they own their own business, but healthcare folks and people that are not working in healthcare, because you're training the algorithm, and the algorithm is going to ultimately shoot you out to your ideal prospects. So you should be following your ideal prospects, connecting with them and speaking to them. Another thing is visibility. The number one thing about marketing your business: without marketing, you have no business. And I always tell people, people say, I'm too shy, or I'm this. You really cannot have a business without marketing. You have to be your best marketer. the biggest marketer, you have to be willing to shout it from the rooftops, right? What you do. And so content is big, visibility with content through content. I know it becomes hard, but with ChatGPT, we have no excuse anymore, right? I just did a master class on how to create 30 days of content for LinkedIn using ChatGPT, but still using your own authentic words and your story. So that would be an entire class itself, so I can't go too deep into it, but visibility. So be active, show up every day, connect. I'll give you guys a secret to quick growth that's not overwhelming. Make it a daily habit to log into your LinkedIn account and connect with 10 people in your network every single day. Just 10.
Wow.
You don't have to overwhelm yourself, just 10 people. And then leave 10 comments on different posts that are, again, within your industry, that are talking, people that are talking, that are speaking about topics that you're also an expert in and you're speaking on, because their network's going to see your comments and then they're going to start to follow you. So those are 2 daily habits. Connect with 10 people and comment on 10 posts every single day. Don't skip a day. And then if you can do content, you don't have to write content every day on LinkedIn, especially if you don't have a large following, because the truth is, if you write content, you only have 10 followers, only 10 people are seeing the content, right? So you want to try to post as frequently as possible, but choose 2 days. Start with 2 days. Tuesday and Thursdays, you're going to show up and you're going to post. When you create a post, make sure you're actually talking about the things you want to be known for. So as much as we want to share our life story and things that are happening in our city or politics, none of that is relevant to your growth. What you want to do is just show yourself as the expert that you are. So even if you don't have a business yet and you say, I am going to eventually start a legal nursing consulting business. Well, start talking about that line of work right now and start talking to those people. So that's just those are quick little tips that you guys can start with today. And yeah, I encourage you guys all to show up consistently and be online there every day.
Wow, that was a great expo there. Thank you so much, Claudia. We really appreciate. So at this point, we'd like to take questions. If you have a question, please feel free to kindly raise your hand or just unmute yourself and speak. We'll do this for the next 1 minute. And if you've been impacted by this section, please can you appreciate our guests via the comment section or with an emoji. Thank you.
Okay, so I've seen a lot of people say that you should drop your LinkedIn profile. I will share our LinkedIn profile, but if you can just do a quick drop of the LinkedIn, I think a lot of people want to follow you right away, Miss Claudia. So I think it's something that it would be a good thing for us to do right now. One of the questions I have here is, as an international nurse, is there any restriction in starting a business as an international nurse in America or in any part of the world? Is there any rules that says I can't have a business, I can do this or that in America?
Is that for me or is for somebody else?
That's for you.
Oh, okay. So I do believe when it comes to starting a business, it's based off the regulations in your own country. So you want to check those first. I don't know, because it really depends on what type of business you have, right? So if the US requires you to have a specific license or certificate, and then you're in another country and then you're trying to do that thing, whether it's through telemedicine or telehealth, or you want to make sure that you're not breaking any rules or laws, and that you are equipped to do that. And perhaps there's somebody else in the in this chat that can help with that has actually started a business while being in another country.
Yeah, I think I should be answering that question because I'm a business owner in the United States and also an international nurse. So there is no restriction as except if you are coming in with another type of visa. But if your visa status is EB3 or H1B, then you can do a business. For any other, maybe visiting visa and all that, yes, that might be, you might be restricted. But for our own kind of visa status coming in, you are not restricted to do any other thing.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood the question. I thought they were saying while being back home, can they start a business online and service the US? Okay, yes, absolutely. So if you're here and, and you have the proper documentation, you could start a business. Yeah. I mean, the licenses still apply, right? If you're going to be start a nurse business, you have to have those certifications. But yes, absolutely. There's no restriction. Start 10 businesses. One of the things about the US and why people want to come here is because we're considered an open market. And so we're encouraged to start businesses, encouraged to do our own thing. It
Okay,
helps
so
the economy.
I'm not sure if Charity can see this question, but I'm seeing someone asking that, can you shed more light on options we have as bedside nursing that we can do from home? Like, I know that a lot of people have asked, people have asked me to this question. Like, they don't want to leave, like you said, Ms. Olayemi, that you can't leave nursing. Business is a muddy step, muddy soil to step on. So what are the options that you can do while still keeping your bedside nursing, and what else can you also do to get money that I can still keep my job, but I can still have my business? Any of the speakers can answer this, please.
Well, for me, I would say consulting. So if you can consult folks, via Zoom, that's a great one. So I always go back to, what are you doing there at the hospital? As long as it doesn't go against any of the rules and regulations of your hospital, you have to be careful, protect your job at all costs, and then go from there. But yeah, if you wanted to consult, exactly what you're doing, Kemi, right now with helping international nurses, you're doing it right now. So you're the perfect example of what you can do.
Wow.
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
will just add to what Claudia just said. What Avagail was doing, or what she's doing right now, is also a side business, right? Going into the social media space, as a nurse influencer, definitely that's gonna earn her side income and all that. Consulting, oh my God, that's where the money in the healthcare industry reside, and that's where Claudia is just pitching her tent. And if you want to diversify like us, moving into outside, healthcare industry, the cloud or the sky is your starting point. I find myself in the financial industry as a licensed financial professional, and it's been an amazing, journey so far. Some goes into sales. They just want to sell things like, just selling international things or even local products, putting it on their page, people patronizing them, then they will order it for them. We have a long list of other businesses that one can do. Writing book is a side business because it's going to generate passive income. Being a digital online marketer, doing, like, even helping people to maintain their social media space. That's where the money is coming right now. People that know how to use Google, all those Google assistants, they said they are, you don't need any certification. All you need is training. And then you're going to help people manage their space. All those celebrities, they don't have the time, but you see them showing up on a daily basis. They need people to do that for them. So if you can just, go online, look for those many opportunities that you can just build on slowly, gradually, and then you can then pitch your own tent, brand yourself. The most important thing is branding, positioning yourself. When people call your name, they know you are known for this. When I want to talk to Claudia, I know that, oh, she's into them consulting, part of healthcare management or whatever. So let's just that branding is key when it comes to, you know, having those things. And then before you know it, it becomes your part of you and help you to generate financial freedom.
Well, thank you so
YouTube,
much.
I want to really quick, YouTube, what Ava's doing, YouTube is, if you haven't started a YouTube channel, everyone should have one. You could do podcast, you can have guests, you can do webinars just like this and attract an audience, and YouTube will pay you for that. So I think you have to have 1,000 hours, 1,000 followers and 4,000 watch hours. But believe it or not, you can do it. I interviewed actually a PA, physician assistant, who started her YouTube channel in 2 weeks. She was monetized. So it just depends. And all she talks about is her faith. So, healthcare and her faith. And she's doing great. So YouTube is another option for you guys. Although I think everyone should start a YouTube channel.
Yes, that's something I'll say too, that what Claudia said. If you want to run a business from home, you have to establish yourself. People need to see you, so you need to build a brand. So you have to have that physical presence, and you need to market yourself, and then people will immediately reach out to you. So I am on social media. I talk about international nursing, and I'm helping persons go to other countries. Somebody from Jamaica who ran a school reached out to me and wanted to partner with me. How did they find me? On social media. So you need to start from there.
Yeah. Ava's been on my podcast on YouTube. I think we met on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I've put some of the list of things that nurses can do. I've put them also inside my book, so that we can also have the diversified knowledge of what you can do from home. Everything about the book that I did was all I created it all by myself, and it was as in from beginning to the end. And I'm on support of my moderator. My moderator is also, she's a UI UX designer. She's a digital. Please, my moderator, please just talk about yourself. Let me not mistalk about you. Did she hear me?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Okay. My name is Charity Chibeze. I'm a UI UX designer and also a website designer. And I also teach people about digital skills as well. So thank you so much for the opportunity. So if you have your brand or your website that you want to create, actually a go-to person, and I'll be able to deliver. Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much. We are almost at the end of the program. We are about 15 minutes, almost 13 minutes above time. I really want to appreciate everyone. Once again, I've put the time I've put together for the launch of the book. The pre-order price is still there, because I discovered a lot of people want to know more. The pre-order price is still there, but after tonight, the price is going to change, and from there. And so, in fact, even as I even put this invitation out, I'd already gotten like 3 speaking invitations. So I'll just encourage every nurse to put yourself out there. It's yes, I keep saying this thing. Do it afraid. Do it afraid. Just take the step. And it may be everybody that knows me before, even some of my classmates, some of my uni mates are here. I'm a very shy girl. They know that I'm a shy girl. Like, I can't face the camera. I can't do this. I can't do that. But somehow, one small step at a time, here we are. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate every one of us.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So moving on to the last segment of this webinar, I would like to share the book launch flyer here. Please, if you're yet to get a copy of this ebook, I think this is the best time to do it. At the pre-order price, it's still $4.99. And after 24 hours, it goes back to $10. And for those within our You can
Okay, so
still get this book on sale.
okay, so Miss Charity's network is breaking now. So
2,500.
okay. Can you hear me? Miss Charity? All right, I think we lost her. So the prices are still the same. So everyone you can just you can, and they are also gonna be launch Friday. I know that there are some people that have come to that have reached out to me that see, Kemi, this your prices is too small, that I want to support you in my own little way. And so they ask for a link that I can use to support, just to support the book. So I created a link aside from the link to buy the book. I created another link for you to support in any way. So I really, really want to appreciate every one of you for showing up. I really want to appreciate Miss Claudia. Thank you for the heads up concerning the LinkedIn. And Miss Claudia also, she has written a LinkedIn book, a book on LinkedIn that you can use to update your profile, start up, and just get started. Aside from the little tips that she gave us here. So nurses, everyone keeps telling me that nurses are working millionaires. So let us not fall people's hand. It's not even until you leave your country. From your country, you can start something. All you need to do is research. What are you good at? And start doing it. I pray God will help us in Jesus' name. Thank you, everyone. We have finally come to the end of the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Bye, everyone.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me. Bye. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Congratulations, Kemi.
Thank you.